Huge bummer. Look at the size of those. So these are the last Lanthanotus babies. As you can see, a few found a new home. Those two are still going to a new owner next year, so that's in a few days. And sorry. And there were two I wanted to keep. 1, 2, but as you can see, number 2 is missing. There was a top there also. I checked that animal just as the rest because I wanted to feed them. I was away for a day or two and I just wanted to check on all the animals, and that one was missing. And I was looking and eventually I found it, unfortunately dead, underneath that top. And when I found it like this. Huge bummer. It ended up yeah, crawling out of its top. Underneath, I found it underneath one of those tubs, and it was still dry in the setup then, so it couldn't have been more than 36 hours. And it all dried up and died, and it's such a waste, such a bummer. And it also feels like my own damn fault, you know. It's terrible to lose an animal, especially in a manner that's preventable. You know, I did not expect them to get out of there. They were so tiny, but it happened, and I should have realized that was an option, and I didn't, and now I've lost a very precious animal. I wanted to keep this one still. Such a waste. Luckily the rest is doing well, but I want to prevent it happening again, so I'm gonna put those lids on and drill some holes in there. Okay, so the lids are done, just simple. This is one, a hole in the middle so I can pull the cable with the air stone through, put it on there, so they are not able to climb out anymore. These have been staying in, but still want to prevent this happening again. I thought maybe use a fauna box, but those are a little bit too high to get in these enclosures, and I do still like this setup, you know, for the hatchling. So I want to do something, yeah, more perfect than this even, but I really like this. There's a small treat in there too for next video. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do to prevent them escaping again. Super simple, but I should have done this way earlier. Now, there's one hiding over there. I also saw one in the corner over there. As you can see, there's also a bit of condensation on this glass. That's because now I put in a small layer of water. In case something like that happened again, I threw in water straight away until I had these lids and I could fit them on there. So yeah, that's what I've done. So don't do what I've done. If you ever breed Lanthanotus or get babies, put them in a similar situation. It really works, but put a lid on there and maybe put a little bit of water inside a system like this to prevent, if anything gets out, that it doesn't dry up. Anyway, we're gonna put these lids on. Before we're gonna do that, what do you say we try and feed them? Okay, normally I just get the worm and throw it in there, but I don't think we can make a real video feeding them from this angle. Maybe I can try with this one. I have a cup with worms here. I don't cut the worms anymore. The young, let's look for a bit of a smaller one. Yeah, this size should work. I feed them about every 2 or 3 days. Don't seem that they are hungry, probably because I already fed them 2 days ago. Time to put on the lids. So what I'm gonna do is just simply pull out this one, put the lid on, and hang this. Doing this one-handed, so like that. That should work. Of course, without the lids, what's very easy with feeding and exchanging them, checking upon them, but don't want this to happen again. I clean the water of these boxes about every, I want to say 2 weeks, but it could also be 3 weeks. Really depends on if I think it's needed. The bio load of these ones is very low. So yeah, this should work. Okay, now that's done. Let's do the other Lanthanotus update, because I have a very cool little update about more Lanthanotus stuff. This one is getting so big and it's so active, and it's just starting to trash its whole setup. Now you can see it pull the filtration off again. This one keeps me busy, but that's okay. Let's give him worm. Yeah, worm 2. This one, honestly, I spoil this one. I really like this one. Gets fed almost daily. Which is not really spoiling, because you know, you don't want them to get too fat. But it's such an active turtle. I want to make sure it gets at least some nutrients once a day. And you can see it knows that there's food in the water, but it's just too busy with what's going on in front of the setup. Look, maybe if you... I still think he's blind. By the way, the snail-eating turtles, the Malayaemi subtriinga, hello Bocha, have been doing absolutely great. These are definitely a fun addition to the collection. I think the next video I just need to do an update on all the animals in the whole room. As you can see, it looks totally different. But let's get to the Lanthanotus. Okay, some people were a bit bummed out that they saw me offer a few captive bred Lanthanotus, which I understand. I also want to see them grow up, but I can't keep all, even if I would like to try. And also, this hobby isn't cheap. Anyway, but the biggest reason I sold off some of my own captive bred, and I'm just now keeping one instead of those two to raise and to see them grow up, is because, as you might notice, this setup is slowly running. And in here I have 2 new captive bred 2020 Lanthanotus borneensis. So I have my own trio, I have my captive bred that I'm keeping back, and now I also have an unrelated, supposed to be pair of last year. So let me show them to you too. Oh, and do remember the size of the small ones I just showed you. Those are about 1 year and 3 months younger than these. And then check out, you really need to check out the size on these ones, and then you can see how fast these grow in the first like 1.5 years. It's absolutely amazing. So this setup is set up very easy, because I actually am gonna move these 2 setups one more time, I hope, at the end of the hibernation, because this whole room is gonna be the cold room. As you can see, I also added cameras all over. Anyway, this is gonna be the cold room, because I have more and more animals that come from more moderate or cooler climate, and I have only a few, like the Lanthanotus, the Malayamis, and the Seaborgiella that really need a tropical. Anyway, so they're set up a bit easy, but for now this works. That way I can make sure that they are acclimating well and feeding, etc. Which they do. They are absolutely perfect animals. They came from a friend. They are normally in between that stack of cork, as you can see. Just simply made layers, stacking cork on top of each other. And let's see if we can find them. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this one-handed. Please remember the size of those small ones. There's one moving over there. Let's move it up. Look at the size of those. Incredible, right? How fast they can grow. Let's see if we can. They're both moved to the back. I don't like handling the Lanthanotus too much, but let's see if we can. Look at the size of that one. So this is captive bred 2020 Lanthanotus borneensis. Let's see if I can focus. Yeah, there we go. just as a size reference. I don't have the biggest hands, but as you can see, they grow so well in captivity. It looks to be a pair. They are definitely living in harmony, and you can really notice that these are used to grabbing food from the tongs. Whoops, there it goes. Mine won't grab any food from the tongs. I'm just training them now because I really like this to take control of them. But yeah, that's it, guys. I'm sorry, I'm bumping the microphone all over. I'm gonna leave them alone again, but I did want to show you those two new additions. So they seem to be doing well, so hopefully in the future I will have a nice group of adults and reproducing more Lanthanotus. The adults over there, I'm not gonna touch them now because of, you know, water of those. But have been doing well after laying the eggs. They have been feeding well. I have already seen a bit of courting again from the male. So let's just see how that goes. Look at this cool little begonia, by the way. This is actually a borneensis species. Pretty common one, but I do like the shape of that leaves. Normally not a begonia fan, but this one I do like. So if you're looking for ideas for your Lanthanotus setup, this begonia in the land area will probably do very well. Just make sure there's plenty of light, but also that your Lanthanotus have plenty of shade. Okay, so that's it for the update. If it's a bit windy, the ventilator is on. So yeah, a bit of bad news, something I should have prevented, but it happened and we learn, I guess. So I did wanted to share this with you because yeah, mistakes happen, I guess. I hate to say that because this could have been prevented. Anyway, we learn from it. Don't make it happen at your place, and at least this is some info that's good to have out there. But we also have two very cool, I'll take you out of the wind, but we also have two very cool Lanthanotus added, so the group is expanding with fresh blood, so that's awesome. And yeah, that's it.